everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing all right. So in this session, we are going to learn how to create a transaction item which is of a queue type in UiPath, even though we don't have a queue in the orchestrator at all. We are not linking our orchestrator queue to our automation at all, but we are still going to create a transaction item and we are still going to utilize this transaction item in our automation. Now, how we are going to achieve this is what we're going to learn today. Okay. So while we are at it, we are also going to see how to use the specific content. There is a function that is available in UiPath for queue items called specific content. Now, basically, we are storing the informations inside the specific content using a dictionary data. How to do that, all these steps, what we are going to learn today. It's going to be a short video, but again, a much needed and much useful session for you all. Now, a little bit of theory before we jump into our right away scripting. Normally, whenever we deal with transaction item, it usually comes, the data for this is usually comes from the orchestrator queue, almost 99%. But sometimes we don't want to do that. We don't have a queue at all. But again, we want to utilize transaction item to store certain information. Say, for example, you have a reporting automation and you need to utilize, or you need to pass or you need to store multiple informations in one variable rather than utilize creating different variables, right? You always have an option of dictionary, but again, this is one more option for you in is a queue based automation, right? Now, how do we do this is that let's get started with the first and foremost part of it, assigning or initializing the transaction item. Right now, what you see, I have already created a workflow and I already have a transaction item that is created as of a type queue type. Queue item. How do we get this queue item is you go to your browse type and then search for queue items and then just scroll down, and this is the one that you have to select. Click on OK. You will get uipath.co.queue item. Now, once you have the queue item, you need to initialize it. Now, initialize it, you need to do what? New queue item. It's a queue item, so you're going to initialize this. Now, once you have initialized your queue or your transaction item, next you can add whatever the data that you want to have it in your automation. For instance, now say for example, I need to store a customer ID. Okay. Now to do that, what I have to do is new dictionary or say it's my key value pair string object I'll give. Okay. Now this is done, right? Now again, I'll give a space. There is a key command that we need to write, but not right now. I'm not going to write it. I'll just create an informations that I want. That is array. Okay. So what exactly I want is customer ID, comma, say 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Now this is not done yet. You have to provide one more command, which is from. So once again, you still see the error, right? What exactly that states is that you cannot assign directly to a queue. Obviously, you cannot do that. But the error in here is vanished. So what exactly I'm trying to do here is that I am trying to store array of details into a dictionary with the key value pair. This is my key, this is my value. Now we have the data, but again, we are not done yet. We need to fix the two part of it. Sorry, let me zoom in. Here, we need to mention dot specific content. That's all is needed. Now see the magic, the error went away, right? Now you have the customer ID information. Let's do a right line. Now let's zoom in a bit. Transaction item dot specific content to print customer ID, which is this. And then we are not done yet. We need to convert it into toString. If I run this automation, the automation should be successful. Let's see. The automation ran and we do see 1, 2, 3, 4 as a value. Now, in case of multiple, how do we pass multiple informations? Like we have added customer ID. Now we need to pass customer name, customer address, or all these, etc. Right? So all this information. How do we do that? How do we do that in using this condition is what we're gonna learn now. So whatever you're seeing right now, I'm just gonna do this way. Let's separate them like this. That way it is easy for us to learn. Now let me just copy and paste throughout. Okay, next, comma, comma, done. Now we have customer ID added, right? So let's say customer name. And let's say, let's automate is my customer name. Next, amount, say 30,000. Okay. Now we have customer name, amount, and customer ID. And I want to print all three of them. Let's do that. This is customer name. Oh. Remember, it's a case sensitive. Next is customer, basically amount. So let's see. Let's run this automation and see. And you see, whatever the value that we added, we could see here. So this approach is useful whenever, say, you don't have an access to Orchestrator, but you still want to perform some kind of a test related to queues with the certain logics, right? Or in a scenario wherein, say, you don't have a transaction automations, or your process is not a transaction automation, but maybe it's a backend process, or say a reporting process, but you still want to utilize the transaction item or a queue item to store the related information, so that in the further steps that it can be used, right? So this is where this comes into picture. So that's it for today's tutorial. So far we have learned how to create a transaction item without using an orchestrator queue. Also, how to add a value to a specific content using dictionary, and how to read those back. I hope this helps you to practice queue item without needing to create multiple variables, right? So you can utilize this transaction item entire automation and play around with the data. So yeah, if you find this video useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more automation tutorial. Thank you for watching, and see you in next session.